Welcome to CEO Uncovered. Today we are joined with the 43rd Mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez. How did your upbringing inspire you to become mayor?
Well, my upbringing was kind of unique in that I'm the first mayor of Miami whose father was the mayor of Miami. So we're the first father-son combination in the history of our city. And actually, my dad was the first Cuban-born mayor, and I'm the first Miami-born mayor in the history of about 120-year history of the city. So it's a very, very much played a role in my upbringing. I definitely, I got to see him firsthand be the mayor. I got to see him campaign for mayor. I understood what it was like to gain people's trust and their confidence. I understand how dynamic a city like this can be. And so being the mayor's son certainly, I think, helped me tremendously be successful at this level. And obviously still having him around, he's still alive and he's with me, and he just finished becoming a county commissioner. So he's been a county commissioner. So it's just a great legacy for me to be able to uphold.
What sparked your interest in politics?
I was a commissioner for 8 years. Before I became a commissioner, like I said, my dad was in politics. He was the mayor of Miami. So that certainly, I'm sure, influenced me, even though I didn't grow up wanting to be a politician. I didn't grow up necessarily wanting to be the mayor. I became an adult, got out of law school, got a job, got married, bought a house, did all the things that everybody else does. And, lived in a community and had some things happen to me. I got, somebody robbed my house. We had some issue with the development project that was in by the neighborhood. I got involved in the homeowners association. So really, honestly, the way I got in was kind of more traditional, becoming more active, and then just realizing that in life, you have two choices. You can either be part of the solution or you can complain about the solution. And so for me, I definitely wanted to be part of the solution. It was a good moment in my life. I was 30 years old when I began running. I was 32 when I was elected as a councilman. I had my own business. I didn't have kids at the time, so I had the time to be able to give back.
What problems are you trying to solve now as mayor?
The big issues in our city, other than COVID, obviously, are affordable housing is a big issue, sea level rise in climate, and transportation. So transportation and affordable housing are two of the three major costs in any household, right? It's food, transportation, and housing. So, in a city like ours, where there's a lot of pressure, a lot of capital that wants to come into the city and invest in the city, it's hard to keep housing affordable. And we do have opportunities to do that by and through our public policies and by and through our zoning code, et cetera. And that's what we try to do. We try to be as competitive as possible, keep taxes as low as possible, but also incentivize developers to build affordable housing and use our land to partner up with the private sector to build more affordable housing as well.
How do you balance your time between work and family life?
It's one of my biggest challenges. Obviously, I'm actually also a private attorney. So I actually have to be an attorney, mayor, and parent. It's like Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You got to be three things at once. And, I'm blessed. I feel very blessed. Have a wonderful, very supportive family. And, I have a great job. I work at Greenspoon Martyr, which is a law firm. Which is a great law firm, and they have, big law firm. And then I also work at City Hall, and I think I have the best job as mayor of the best city on the planet. So, let me tell you this, my days are not boring. I get up, my days are challenging, they're fun, they're exciting. Sometimes they're difficult, sometimes they're hard. But I feel very, very blessed and lucky to do what I do.
What's more important, education or experience?
Yeah. So I used to think it was education only, right? And when you're older, when you're younger, you think, I have the capability, the competency to do things just based on how I grew up, my education relative to the people that I'm competing against, right? I think as you get a little older, you realize that experience is important, and you come up on situations where things happen or things go wrong. When you're running a major company or you're running a major organization, it doesn't go right all the time. And so when it goes wrong, and you learn how to deal with that adversity. And the way I look at it is like when you work out with weights, sometimes you develop calluses in your hands, right? And so when you're running a big organization, you develop an ability to deal with adversity that doesn't destroy you, right? And that's important because adversity can come at you very hard and can be very difficult, but you have to overcome it. You have to understand you're not always going to win, which is tough sometimes, but But if you work hard, you're going to learn from your losses and you're going to get better.
Who is someone that has a positive impact on you?
I think my dad obviously was a big influence. Obviously, he's someone who I grew up seeing and admiring. He's someone who I feel is very independent. And then I think there's a lot of people that you run into, whether they be members of your family. My wife is somebody who I really admire in terms of her sort of overflowing goodness, and just her moral character, and someone who I kind of aspire to be more like in that way. And then, my family members, I have three amazing sisters. I'm the oldest of four. So I'm very blessed that all my sisters are incredibly accomplished, very powerful women. My parents are still married, so I'm lucky. My wife's parents are married, so we're very blessed. And listen, I've always tried to use those blessings to try to help others, right? And what happens is you get to a point in your life where hopefully you can take care of yourself and your family, and you can use that extra time and energy to help those that need it more.
If you were talking to a teenage version of yourself, what would you say to him?
I'd probably go back. I remember looking at this question. I probably would go back to when I was 14. I probably would go a little bit before 18, because what happens is when you're 14 and you're ninth grade, you're starting high school. That's really that really shapes your university or college, right? I think I didn't really take life seriously till probably I was like 21, 22. And that's okay, because I obviously turned out okay. You know what I mean? I was able to go to a good law school, and I became the mayor of Miami, and I succeeded in my profession as well. But one of the things that I'm big on now as an adult is giving maximum effort, and you can always live with the consequences of that. So for me as a 14-year-old, what I would have told my 14-year-old is, hey, take school seriously, because if you do well in school, it's going to open up a lot of educational opportunities that will open up a tremendous amount of professional opportunities that then will make life easier. I think I took the harder road, frankly. I think, and maybe it benefited me some way, because like I said, I dealt with more adversity. I had to struggle more. I was had a sort of a late bloomer. But I think had I been able to go back to my 14-year-old self, I probably would have told my 14-year-old self, I would have said, hey, take high school seriously. What I would have told my 18-year-old self was, you're going to be okay, man.
How does an entrepreneur such as Dave Grutman impact a city like Miami?
An entrepreneur like Dave, first of all, infuses a tremendous amount of creativity into our city. He's someone who's a magnet. So he magnetizes, he brings people together from a variety of different walks of life. So you can be talking with Dave, you can be talking to, Pharrell 1 minute, a superstar, and then you're talking to, Nick Bollettieri, a tennis guy. So he brings people from a variety of different walks of life together. He's a so a connector. And I think a city like ours at this time of our history really could benefit from connectors like him, who see the vision of our city and the beauty of our city, and understand what we're trying to accomplish, which is to create a city with a truly diverse economy, from tech, to a variety of other industries, and not just the basic ones or the ones that we've traditionally had. And I think he understands that. He grasps what it takes to make a city great and successful, and he helps us accomplish that.